New tonight, just 1 month out from the opening of the new Mercedes-Benz Stadium, we're exploring a community that some consider a forgotten neighborhood. It's just steps from the gates of that shiny new Atlanta landmark. Parts of English Avenue and Vine City, they've long been known to many as the Bluff. And as CBS 46 investigative reporter Karen Greer shows us, there are two very different stories to tell here.
The Bluff stands for better leave, you fool.
In the shadow of burgeoning hope lies a neighborhood full of despair.
Regardless of who you move in or who you move out, it's not going to change.
Welcome to the Bluff. English Avenue and Vine City neighborhoods known infamously across the country because of movies like this.
All right now.
Cocaine, pills, whatever you want.
Drug addicts and former addicts say this is a hotspot for heroin, meth, cocaine, whatever your pleasure. It's the place in Atlanta to buy and sell drugs.
Here's an empty baggie that heroin comes in.
It's also one of the most dangerous places in the city.
And I constantly looking over my shoulder. You gotta look for cops, you gotta look for people trying to jack you. You gotta look for junkies that will, who knows what they'll do.
And the Bluff, I think, carries that connotation of all the drugs, the violence, the chaos that was part of the community is known for.
But it hasn't always been that way. Quanchella has grown up in the Bluff and says it's not as bad as it's portrayed.
The Bluff is this, the Bluff is that. It's not like that. It's not a bad area.
Atlanta police patrol the area vigorously and see the promise here. They've implemented a West Side security plan to try to stabilize the neighborhood. The plan has been in place for a year, and APD says crime is down 38% in English Avenue in Vine City. And by 2020, the force plans to build 25 homes to increase the number of officers who actually live in the neighborhood.
I mean, it's changing, and slowly I'd love to see it preserved for those who lived here.
But that change isn't happening fast enough.
It's just something that makes sense to me.
Jake is from Johns Creek. In high school, he would make the drive from the burbs to the Bluff to get high and sometimes sleep in the abandoned houses.
There was dog poop all over the place. It's like your typical stereotype trap house. And there were needles on the table. There was just like 50-year-old women just passed out all over the place.
Jake is now clean and sober and helping other kids beat their addiction.
Hot and cold sweats, shivers.
But Brandon says every day is a struggle for him. Getting high in the Bluff is still a fact of life.
I'm probably the only white guy that lives in the Bluff that I know of. I had a good job. I didn't have to worry about money. I felt safe, had good friends. I took all that for granted, and now I'm here and I am alone.
But I felt God calls us to places where he wants to see shalom, see life, flourish, wholeness.
And still, somehow, hope in the Bluff perseveres. And as Hope in the Bluff continues, the Atlanta Police Foundation is set to cut the ribbon on the state-of-the-art at Promise Youth Center next week. For CBS 46 Investigates, I'm Karen Greer.